Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Dum Yinzers. This is episode 211. What's up, Big Mike?
Oh man, I am just happy to be here today. This was talk about a fantastic weekend.
My goodness, you know what? I you couldn't have made up this weekend. This may have been one of the craziest weeks from top to bottom in the NFL that I've ever seen in my life.
The the NFL and the World Cup. It started literally from the World Cup at 10 o'clock, and it did not end until last night's game. The craziness that happened in sports.
Absolute craziness. We'll touch on some things before we get into the NFL, Mike, because there's so much, that's going to take the length of the show. Obviously, we get into the NFL, we get into numbers, we get into teams, we get into bets, we get into everything. It's just going to take the duration. So let's jump right in, Mike. Let's jump right into football. I tried this year. I don't know how often they do this World Cup.
Every 4
years. So they pretend that they make it out to be this big important thing that they do every 4 years.
It's very important.
Okay. You know what? The thing that gets me about these soccer fans is I've never heard, and I'm excluding Mike. Okay, this isn't a stab at Mike. This is a stab at people that I see on social media and just in real life that now all of a sudden are the biggest soccer fans in the world. They go on and on and on about it, and they talk about Lionel Messi being the GOAT. I'm thinking, 6 months ago, has anybody even heard of this guy's name? I don't know, but it just seems awfully funny. I did get into it in the sense of following it, Mike, but it's in the sense of really taking the interest of the game. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I didn't try because I did. But I did. I gave it a valiant effort, and I came away with a little bit. I think that it was a little bit better than I expected it to be. But still, it's going to take me another 4 to 8 to 12 years maybe to settle in on this sport. Give us a little bit of let me know what happened this weekend, man.
Okay, well, first of all, yes, everyone knew who Messi was. Like in the world, in the US, like if you followed soccer, you know who Messi is. He is that guy. He is him. He is arguably the greatest player of all time. It is now a three-way conversation between Pele, Maradona, and Messi for who's the greatest player of all time. This game, okay, it started at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I slept in. I'm like, okay, nothing can crazy have happened already. It's like 10:30, 10:40. I finally turned the game on. It's 2-0 already. Messi starts it out with a penalty kick, and then Argentina scores again. And just like in hockey, the 2-goal lead is the most dangerous goal in soccer. If you follow hockey, like when your team's up 2-0, your butthole gets tight. Because your team's going to concede a couple goals, and it's going to be a battle the rest of the way. And, it went to a halftime. It looked like Argentina was going to run them off the field. It's over. All the way through the second half, France hasn't scored. 45 minutes in, no score. Finally, the 80th minute, Mbappe, who might be the best player in the world right now, scores a penalty kick in the 80th minute. 1 minute later, in the 81st, he scores again to tie it up. This is like literally watching probably Lemieux and Gretzky battle it out in their primes. So boom, it's tied. Argentina scores late. Then a handball in the box for Argentina, automatic penalty kick against Argentina. France is going to kick. Who else is going to come in? Mbappe scores a hat trick. The first hat trick we've had in the World Cup since 1966 in a World Cup final, in the final game of the year, or the final game of the tournament. You thinking France has all the momentum. Boom, 90 minutes goes, a little extra time, it's over. Then we go to the 15-minute overtimes. Both teams have chances. And France had the best chances. I think it was in the second overtime period. And Argentina's goalie just came up huge. It kick saves and a butte here and there. It was just so many chances back and forth. And finally, after all that drama, we go to penalty kicks. First up for France, Mbappe. Who else? Boom, goal. Pressure's on. Messi's on. This is his last ever World Cup. Big pressure moment. Boom, he scores on a cheeky little goal. He just goalie guessed wrong. He just tapped it into the opposite side. Then I think France scored again. Argentina scored. Boom, big save by Argentina. Argentina scores. Boom, another big save by Argentina. Argentina needs one more goal to win. Boom, they win it. Game winner. Lionel Messi is finally, after all the trophies he has, winning the Spanish leagues, winning, oh my God, the best clubs in Europe, they all played together in a big tournament at the end of the year. He's won that. The only thing I'm missing was the World Cup. He finally gets the World Cup. He was named the best player of the tournament. What a way to send it out. And now, if you're an American and this is the only soccer game you've ever watched, stop now. Because it is never going to be as good as this. It's wild. You had 6 goals scored in regulation, about another 5-6 scored in the shootout. It's never going to top this again. Quit now on a high.
And that wasn't the only game this weekend, Mike, was it? There was a game on Saturday morning that was for third place between Croatia and Morocco. You have any insight on that game?
No, but I will here in a minute. And I'm kind of mad that I missed this game. I missed even like the score of it because you know me, I was big on Morocco.
Yeah.
Big on Morocco, and I'm trying to find a fucking score here anywhere.
2-1 Croatia.
2-1 Croatia. Oh. That one was, he had 3 goals in the first half, man. I missed it. The only game I worried about was my boy, Lionel Messi, and Ryan can tell you, when Argentina won up 3-2, who went crazy? This guy.
Messi?
I went crazy. I was running around. I was running around the studio.
What team does Boppy play for?
Who?
Boppy?
Mbappe. He plays for France.
Okay.
And Ryan with his like, wait a sec, that's France?
I have a friend who calls his little boy Boppy. He's 2 years old.
Mbappe. Yeah, that I felt bad for him. That dude carried his team on his back. He dragged them through that whole tournament, dragged them through that final, and it sucked because either he wasn't going to win or Messi wasn't going to win. Both of them deserved to win. They both played some of the best. If you're a fan of sports and you're able to watch those two, you realize it was one of the best head-to-head matchups in a team sport you can get.
It goes without saying, this is the best World Cup you've ever seen, Mike?
Yeah, this is the best World Cup final game I've ever seen, or even probably like the best soccer game I've seen played. And I've watched a decent amount of soccer. I used to watch a lot when I was a lot younger and had more time, but you had 2 class teams going at it. Picture like, I don't know, Edmonton Oilers from the 80s and the Penguins from the 90s going at it. Just skill everywhere to be found, not a weakness on either team. It's like, who's going to get the last bounce? And that's what it came down to. Like, France got stoned in the PK and then the one guy missed wide. It's like, like the Stars played the way you thought they would. Everyone else played they would. And just come down to like the lesser people on the roster choked it away for France. I don't want to say choked it away. It's like, God, goalie makes a save on you. And then, they're allowed to make a play too. So it was a fun game to watch. I missed every single goal except Mbappe's last goal.
My favorite part of the game was when the goalie dives the wrong way. That's got to be by far my favorite part.
I like that. You're like, why'd he do that?
It's all important. Every fan there is on their feet. Every fan at home that's watching is biting their nails. Because this guy goes to kick it and the goalie goes the other way. I think that's amazing. I love it. That's probably my favorite part of soccer.
And we saw 2 goals kicked right down the middle. You're like, why don't they just stand there? It's because like no one goes down the middle.
Yeah.
And we had 2 go right down the middle.
Yeah, he literally kicked it right at the goalie and the goalie jumps out of the way.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, you have to react quick. You have to think, okay, guess left or right, because everyone goes left or right down low. So no one really goes high, no one really goes down the middle.
Well,
it was fun. It was fun. I loved it.
We will never get this 10 minutes back, everybody, but that's okay.
Oh, fuck you, man.
It means something to Mike.
It
And
does mean something to me. It means something to. Oh, if you're a fan of sports and you can't get behind this, if it was women's volleyball, we talked about that for 25 minutes the other
yes,
day.
I could talk about women's volleyball for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah,
Um,
I got kind of uncomfortable listening to that conversation.
well, you made me uncomfortable,
You
so
made me
there,
uncomfortable.
there. Like also there was some other good well, not so good actually. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they had their 7-game winning streak broke last night. Mike, the Penguins played at 5 o'clock down in Carolina
Mhm.
yesterday. They did lose 3-2, snapped their 7-game winning streak. They host the Rangers tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
I
Um,
saw a quick little stat. It looks like oh my god, the Penguins against the or Hurricanes the past 7 games are like or 9 games are like 7-0-2.
you know what? That's crazy because the Steelers also, I don't know what it is at the moment, but I think they've won the last 8 games or last 7 games against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, it's why one team can beat the other team. We can't have both.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Mike, also the Penguins are before yesterday's game. Actually, I have to say I didn't see the new poll, but they were up to number 6 on the power poll. They moved up from 10 to 6 last week, while on their big winning streak. So the Penguins, if they drop a little bit, I'm sure they might because of a loss, but they're back up in the top where they belong. Also,
'Cause they
final
are.
news from the NHL, Mike. The NHL is considering stretching out the regular season to 84 games. They haven't done it; they're just talking
Ugh,
about it. But I don't know. Does this really matter to anybody? Is it? I
no.
think if you didn't even tell anybody, you could probably slide it in there and be fine. Like, oh
You
shit,
could, yeah, but I like 82 is enough. You don't need 80. You don't need 2 more games. It's no. It's enough as it is. The regular season drags on long now. Just adding 2 more games, no. Just stop doing breaks for like the World Cup of Hockey. Stop doing breaks for the Olympics.
I
Just
agree.
don't do that. Just play the seasons every year
Yeah,
the same. 82
they break
games
for
done.
everything.
Yeah. I do like the
Um,
All-Star break though, where you get a week off, teams get to heal and recharge. That's cool. But when you add
no,
all
but
that
when
other
they
stuff every
break
other
for like things
year,
that have nothing to do with hockey, that's what always gets me.
like hockey should not be played in the summer. It feels like the last Stanley Cups have been in the summer. I don't like that.
It's rough because, I do know when we were winning our Stanley Cups here in Pittsburgh, it's tough to wear your jersey. You're getting
Yeah.
ready for a game in June for a Stanley Cup final
Hmm.
game, and you're not going to wear a jersey when it's 90 degrees. So, yeah, you're right. That's just going to extend it even further. I'm always for more. I like more. I want to see more games, more stuff to talk about, more statistics, more numbers, just everything. I like more. But you know what? It doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. Like I said, if they would sneak it in there and play 84 and not tell us, I think that most people probably wouldn't even realize it. So.
Oh no, you just let it go.
Yeah, yeah, big time, man. Just they could probably put 10 extra games in. Um, Mike, we got so much. I don't even know where to start, dude.
There's a lot going on.
It's Immaculate Reception Week, everybody. It's Immaculate Reception Week. So we will be talking about the Immaculate Reception, the upcoming game with the Raiders this coming Christmas
Hmm.
Eve. We have all kind of things here. We have, like I said, probably the most entertaining week of the NFL football I've seen in my life, and I have been
Oh
watching for
yeah.
quite some time. There was something pretty much in every game that made it a little bit more unique. Um, let's talk some Steelers first before we move on to the
Yes.
NFL.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Pittsburgh Steelers, they win, Mike. They win. And you know what? I believe they won 24-16.
Hmm.
And I'm going back and I'm looking at and we'll get back to the picks and in the tiebreakers and everything. Dummy actually picked 28-16. Dummy picked
Ooh,
28-16. He would have
wow.
been over by 4, but
He was
didn't.
close. He's rather close.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even realize that. I was going down through this morning, just recording scores down, and I seen that and I thought, wow, that was pretty good
Hmm.
for Dummy. Mike, I have so much to say about this game. Why don't you kind of get us started? Because if I start, who knows where it's going to go.
Let's start with that game plan that the Steelers had of we're going to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Both lines played very well. Probably the best games they've played. I know it's the best game I've seen the defensive line play all game or all season long.
And this is a pretty
Ogunjobi
bad
and
Carolina offense. You got to put that in
yeah,
there.
but Carolina had some in the past couple weeks, probably like 4 to 6 weeks. They've had some nice ground games. So like thinking how we've had trouble stopping the runs. Like, oh my god, even though they lost Christian McCaffrey, they still got some capable running backs. So
The
it's like,
leading running back had 10 yards. Go
yeah,
ahead.
but
I'm sorry.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The D line stepped up. They stepped up
Mm.
this game because Carolina's been running the ball well, and
I think, Mike,
they control the offensive line, which is good for the run game and for the pass game. They did well. Both
I
sides,
think the
both
reason
lines.
why they didn't run so much is because they were so successful with the passing game. They were 14 for 23 for 225. I'm sorry, Darnold was
Yeah.
14 for 23, 225, and 1 touchdown. You know what? It's scary because our secondary is a fucking mess. I'm watching wide open receivers 3 at a time
Oh,
just
James
scamper around back
Pierre
there.
just letting that guy go.
It's embarrassing, and you know what? We're lucky. We're lucky they decided to pass the ball, and or I don't even know what the fuck because here's the thing. We have to get fucking defensive backs. We have to get corners. We have, where I was going, I was just saying that, I mean, they have been running the ball well. You're right. They've been playing actually pretty decent football. They even said
Mhm.
last week that last week was probably the best game that they played. A lot of people ended up picking Carolina for whatever reason, but they did. I think that it could have. There was a point in this game that I didn't think we were going to beat Carolina. There wasn't. It was just, we the Steelers are usually good. You kind of
Yeah.
get that feel when you're playing
Mhm.
teams and what they're bringing to the table. I I think that we lucked out because he could have, we only lost by a touchdown and an extra point, or a 2-point conversion. This guy could have certainly passed away that our cornerbacks played a lot more, in my opinion, and they would have had to run the ball 3 times to win, to stay in this game. They were 188 on the passing, so I guess I'd be taking away the sack yards.
Yeah.
209 total, 188 passing, 21 yards rushing, 12 first downs, 4 for 11 on third down, 23 minutes time of
Yeah,
possession.
that our defense held them and they dominated, man.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm debating. Like, did our defense really do great, or is this just a bad team? I'm watching it, and
It's both. It's both. It was two
yeah,
bad teams, and our defense, we just played better. Look, they scored in the second quarter and in the fourth quarter. So if you can hold a team to only scoring once in each quarter or once in each half, that's good. That's good. We held them where we needed to.
Mike, we did sweep the NFC South.
And if first in the South, baby. First
First,
in
and
the
we would
South.
we would we would be the champion of that division.
Yes.
We okay. The only team that lost to the South so far, and this kind of gives you an idea, our whole division plays the South.
Uh-huh.
Us, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns. Which means each team plays all four teams from over there. One loss has came from that division from
Uh-huh.
for one of our teams in our NFC North, and it is in fact the Browns. They lost earlier this season to the Falcons 23-20. That gives us an idea of how good that division is. It was the perfect division for us at this
Oh
point of
yeah.
the season where we needed it. We needed these wins, and it was perfect. But I mean, does that really give you a true litmus test on where you're at, where things are going? I think the Baltimore game in a couple weeks. I think the Cleveland game. Considering we do play through them, and
Mm-hmm.
let's just say we get knocked out of the playoffs next week by something that's out of our control. Then what do you do? I mean, you really still continue to press. You can you put your guys out there to get hurt. Do you start putting other guys in to get an idea of what they have? I don't know. But those would be the 2 games that I would look at to say, okay, well, these are going to be the true test of what we're facing.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even this Raiders game coming up last week, um, even the sun shines on a dog's ass someday. And I think that was proven yesterday at the end of the 425 game between the
Yeah.
New England Patriots and the Raiders. So again, we'll talk more about that here shortly. Mike, I don't know. I don't know. This season is what it is. And
It
you
is,
called
yeah.
it at the beginning of the year, and you said they might be right around 500. They might be a game under. And you know what? You hit it right on the head. I'll
That was
give you that
close.
because it was close, and that's the team that we got.
Mhm. Yeah, and
We beat these teams that we were supposed to beat. We lost to the teams we were supposed to lose to. We
mhm,
won maybe against one that we wasn't supposed to beat. We lost to one maybe we wasn't supposed to
yeah,
lose to. So
it's
this season was what it was.
mhm,
We're going to dig more into it here momentarily and get into individual play and positions and things like that, like we do every week. But Mike, here we are sitting with 3 games left. What are we? We're 6-8.
6
Six
and
and
8.
eight. We're still not out of the playoffs,
We're
surprisingly.
in the hunt, baby.
We
We're
are in
on
the
the
hunt,
graphic. We're
baby.
on the graphic.
Yes, we are. We're on the graphic, and that's all that matters to me because I pay attention to the graphic. But I tell you what, here we go, Mike. We have the Raiders, the
Mhm.
hated Raiders, the hated Ratbirds, and the shit Browns. Let's just say we can beat these three teams and end out 10-7, 10-7, and let's say not get into the playoffs, but they still go 10-7. I
Nine
mean,
and eight. We'd be 9-8.
9-8. I'm sorry. Do you feel that that would be an overachievement for these teams to finish over
Yes.
500?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And one of the reasons why is last year we did that with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah,
This year we've done it with
quarterback by
quarterback by committee.
yeah.
We went from Mitch to Kenny back to Mitch. So
And
you're
you got to be honest, none of these guys really outperformed one another. If you
no,
look at
well,
it
they
at the end of the
haven't.
day,
We said that like in training camp, all three quarterbacks were the same, and I
yeah,
guarantee if Mason played, it'd be the same. You
yeah,
or like maybe every once in a while, like Kenny showed like here and there, like oh, just
right.
a little bit better. But then also he showed no, he's not. Same thing with Mitch. Showed he's a little bit better. Then other times, no, he didn't. So it's
And it makes you wonder, Mike, if we had San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator, would things be a little bit different with
I
these quarterbacks? I mean, and not just Kenny, any of them. I mean, the way that Mr. Irrelevant's doing down there, this guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame in 5 years. I mean, this guy cannot be that good, is all I'm saying. They're
he
playing good
could be. He could
competition.
be. I mean, look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a what
Absolutely.
7th round draft pick, 6th round pick, or whatever he was. AB was a 6th round pick.
I
So
like him. Don't get me
players fall
wrong.
through the cracks, and he Iowa State was not known as a hotbed of quarterback or
No,
even a hotbed of football, so you don't know. But yeah, it kind of helps. But if we had that coordinator, I don't think we'd be doing that much better anyway.
really.
Because I don't think so. I don't. I don't even think a game better. Maybe stat wise a little bit better. I don't think we'd be that much better.
Okay.
And I have to say, after a win, I'm usually like the negative pessimistic one. You are, and I don't like this because I was actually rather excited for this win. It was that old school grind them out.
Well, it's going to get ugly, man. We still got a lot to talk about. Mike, also a feat that we accomplished yesterday. TJ Watt becomes the third fastest player to reach 75 sacks since 1982. That was in 84 games he accomplished that.
Just imagine if he was healthy.
Oh, if that guy was healthy his whole entire career so far, he would be they wouldn't even think he's human.
Yeah,
And then also the Alex Highsmith gets another sack yesterday, puts him at 11 for the season. He has four forced fumbles, 11 sacks. He might.
we just got to remember though, most of that production
I
has
know.
happened when Watt's been on the other side. Even if Watt hasn't been healthy these past couple games up until this game, even this game he looked off.
Yeah,
It's the Watt effect for him over
absolutely, absolutely. You
there.
see it
Like
with
I don't want
you
to take
see it with
anything
the
away from
three.
the guy because
You see it
he's
with Ty
improved every
Smith.
year.
Yeah, right.
Like God, I hope he's we're able to. I just hope we don't sign him to a huge contract because you got to. He's not going to be worth it because you
Yeah.
can find someone else to plug in and play on that side
Yep.
with Watt. We saw it with Bud. We're seeing it with him. I'm sorry. It's like what's that old? What was the old saying? Like you put a chair or put it like a broom on Lemieux's wing, it'll score you 50 goals.
Yeah, right.
They like these guys are like Rob Brown. Put
Yeah.
him over there, boom, 50 goal score. You leave
Number
nothing.
44, baby. I love Robbie
Yeah, I
Brown.
loved Robbie Brown. He was the shit.
Mike, so yes, Highsmith finished with the sack, TJ Watt finished with a sack and a half, and Cam was a sack.
Clam.
Clam was a half nut, a half
Could-
sack.
I-
I'm sorry.
I later on, I will. People are going to be surprised what I have to say about Clam.
Oh man, you can tell Christmas is near. Everybody's getting everybody's
I
getting
know,
nice.
I know. I'm in a good mood.
Good moods all around.
I don't like this. I need something to bring me down.
I'm gonna slide this in because we're not gonna do a news segment today. We have a lot going on in
Mhm.
sports. It's Monday, you know that. Plus, it's just being a crazy weekend. I did want to throw in one sport article one news article I did find, Mike. Going into the holidays, I think this may or may not be helpful for some
Excuse me?
local folks. However, here it is. New study ranks PA, Pennsylvania, as the number 2 state for holiday break-ins. So that was one of my news stories. I wanted to squeeze it in here because just the holidays are right around the corner. I don't want people breaking in your house, stealing your kids' presents.
Yeah,
But PA is number 2 in the whole entire country, Mike, for holiday break-ins.
that's wild because you got the two big cities on bookends of the state. And then in the middle is like all the rural stuff, and even rural around those areas. Like PA, man, there's a lot of guns in PA. You'd be stupid enough to rob a house in ending this part of this state.
Yeah, it's
No,
crazy, man.
dumbasses.
Crazy. But this is episode 211. 211. What's a 211? Isn't 211 like robbing somebody?
No, I
The police code.
don't know. I just know 187.
Yeah, I think 211's a robbery, an armed robbery.
Ooh.
Yes. So Mike, let's go. Let's talk Steelers, baby. Um, let's do it this way.
All right.
By the way, I do want to say I do like I thoroughly like the way you have your microphone set in the foreground of your picture. I
Mhm.
think that looks good. Your studio is finally coming around. I no,
Uh,
I do like the positioning. The positioning of that microphone is pretty badass.
yeah, I like it.
What I think I'm going to do, Mike, is this.
All right.
Let's start the quarterback position. Where do we grade? Where do we grade the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday at the quarterback position?
I'm gonna go with a B plus.
All right,
Uh,
17 for 22, 179
yes.
yards. No mistakes, no turnovers.
No,
Either way, there
he
was
had reason I gave a B plus. He had a couple throws where I was like, "Oh, Mitch, why did you throw that
yeah,
one?" Yeah, like two that I know that like we're in like a danger area of like you're like, "Oh, why'd you do that?" But it, you know, we got lucky, no harm, no foul. But give it B plus. He ran this offense the way it needed to be ran. He did not force the ball this game. Relied on the run game. Took shots when he needed to take shots, and played smart, man. Yeah, this is what you want from someone who's been in the league for a while and should be able to play within himself and not try and do too much. So this is exactly what you want out of Mitch Trubisky. This is how he's going to have to play for the rest of his career. Just be smart with the ball, take shots when you have them there, and just rein it in. Rein it in.
it was a safe game for me. You're right. I gave him a B as well on my scores here. He was certainly he was smart enough to not make the
Hmm.
mistakes.
Yeah.
And you know what? This game, like last week, I mean, we turned the ball over 3 times. We had the terrible punt. We didn't put ourselves in a position to lose
Yeah.
this game. I like that. I also give Mitch Trubisky a B. Mike, how did our running game look yesterday? Let me give you the numbers real quick, everybody.
Yes.
24 carries for 86 yards and a touchdown for Najee, and also Warren had 11 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown as well.
Um, I the only thing I didn't like was just we're under 4 yards per carry. You like to be around 4 per carry. 3.5, you can live with that. I thought they ran the ball well. They stayed with the run. Everyone who was in did well. I'm gonna give them an A. And I want to say on Najee's touchdown run, he get
Yeah,
that little stiff arm that on that guy. First guy.
WWE.
I think he didn't like that stiff arm because he didn't get enough on that guy. It was just like a little love tap. So he
Yeah.
sees the guy in the end zone. He did not have to turn towards him, and he did, and he wanted to finish him off. And that right there to me, that set the tone. That
Let me
set the
ask you
tone with that
this.
line of like, hey, this is what we're doing today, and we're gonna do it. I
All right, we're
loved
not
it.
going to vary too far off into the running game because I almost have the same opinion. My thing is this, Mike. Up into the season when we really did start using a committee for running the ball a few weeks in to the present. Let's say it's a one-man show. Najee runs the ball 24. He runs the ball 35 times, opposed to splitting the time with
Mhm.
Warren. And let's add the 38 yards to the 86. I think Najee has a pretty good day. You can even take 20 away to give it to a couple other
Yeah.
guys that do come in
Well,
and spell them. So I do, Mike. I give Najee in the backfield for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I give him an A. There was nothing that this backfield did
no.
wrong. They scored 2 touchdowns. They didn't turn the ball over. They fell forward.
Mhm.
I was content. Again, I don't get too excited because I know the level of competition in Carolina, but you have to say for the performance of the running backs yesterday in this
Yeah.
football game, I give them an A
Like
as well.
like they held on to
Where
the
can you
ball.
downgrade them?
You can't. They held on to the ball. They picked up blocks. They ran hard. There's nothing to fault them for.
No, absolutely not. Um, let's go next, Mike, to the tight end position. Obviously, I don't think Pat played, did he? I know that he
He
had the foot.
played. He
Did
played. I
he?
think he was limited a little bit.
He had the foot.
He had the foot. He was limited, and we only Gentry was 1 catch for 4 yards.
Yeah. So, you can't really fault, and obviously you're not going to fault Muth because he was injured.
Yeah.
Gentry getting the numbers shows you that that's where the
Yeah.
production would have been. But you know what? I give it overall the tight end position, which is the only thing I don't have marked down for some reason. Let me think for a second. I don't know. It was average. Like I said, the blocking was well. There was
Yeah.
no problems off the, and anything that had blocking, anything. So it was average. I'd like to give them more just because I do
Eh,
like our tight ends. However, I can't because there was not enough to give
yeah,
me to
yeah,
grade them more.
it's
I
more or
give
less
them a
like
C because it was average.
I was gonna get like either an incomplete just because what's enough, or like just a passing grade. They passed.
Yeah,
They got
absolutely.
the S. They got the satisfactory grade.
They got an S. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's not much you can you know they blocked well. They contributed not giving up any
Yeah.
sack, or there's only the one sack, but they contributed run blocking. So is what it is. I'm
I'm
gonna give
gonna
them an S, satisfactory.
I give them an S too. A couple of S's they are, like us, a couple of asses. All right, so I'm going to jump over the wide receiver position just a moment to get to the offensive line. We're going to talk about the line. I thought the line did very well. I didn't
Uh-huh.
see the quarterback on his ass. I didn't see too many running plays get blown up in the backfield. I didn't see. There was penalties here and there. You have that. But you know what, Mike? At the end of the day, against this team, we'll talk again about both of these interior lines
Yeah.
2 weeks from now when we're playing the Ravens. But right now, this offensive line, in my opinion, got an A yesterday. There was
Uh,
not enough that happened to downgrade that. I thought
yeah.
that was a good blocking game. Offensive line,
Mhm.
solid A for me.
Me too. They had 2 quarterback hits and 1 QB sack. For the most part, geez, Mitch had all the time in the world to throw, and on that sack, it's like they sent everyone. Not much you can do on that one. It was I think it was like a 5-7 step drop, and they were there right as his back foot planted. So it was a well done on the Panthers' part on defense, but the run blocking was there. They were opening up holes. Really, I think our longest run was like what 10 yards,
Yeah,
something like
something like
that.
that.
But uh, we had a 22-yard run, yeah, on the jet sweep. But outside of that, we had a 10-yard run and a
Mm.
9-yard run. They opened up holes. They didn't give up it. They gave up 1 sack and couple tackles for loss, and that
Let's
was an A. They played very well, and you can see this line is improving game in, game out. But still, off season, you got to upgrade this line.
absolutely. If you think back to the beginning of the season, preseason, even a quarter of the way through the
Oh
season, this
God,
offensive line was scary. It was
that
downright,
that first game against Jacksonville, man, the
yeah.
preseason, terrible,
Oh,
night and
I
day.
was really concerned at that point.
Night and day. The O line coach, whose name escapes me at the moment, he deserves a ton
Absolutely.
of credit.
Mike, I want to talk just for a moment about the wide receiver position. I think that it's a crime that George Pickens gets 2 passes and 53 yards. You've seen one of them. He's running
Mm-hmm.
foot for foot with the defender.
Yeah.
The guy is very in position to make a play. George Pickens sticks his long ass arms up. He grabs this ball and he runs down the sideline. This
Yeah.
guy could have ran the whole way down the field with the ball in his hand because he's a fucking enigma. Okay. For okay,
I know where you're going with this. I know
well,
where you're going. Well, I'm already
okay,
serious.
well, everybody wants the ball.
Yes.
And don't get me
He
wrong.
was targeted 5 times
And don't get me wrong, the other guy on the other side had 10 catches, 98 yards,
and
okay,
targeted 10 times.
and still under 10 yards per catch. But that's besides the point. 9.8 on that. This the gentleman on the other side. Let me just let me just talk about him for a little bit, Mike.
Mr. Go Route.
Mr. Go Route. So Mr. Go Route. I'm gonna rewind a little bit. That's why I'm just asking for your patience
You're
momentarily.
fine. You're fine.
So Deontay Johnson, who was on the fence with me before the season started, I wanted everybody to do well. I had nothing against Deontay Johnson. I had nothing against Deontay Johnson. This is what happened. He held out in camp.
Heinz Ward held out.
Okay, you're not giving me my due.
DJ held out.
I don't care. I'm not talking about them. Listen, Deontay Johnson held out. I'm building his pyramid. It's getting there.
Okay.
Also, and this has nothing to do with football. However, this is big in our city where football players do participate a lot with the fans, with communities and things like that. He totally skipped out on a football camp that he was supposed to be at with his name on it. It was Deontay Johnson football camp. He totally skipped out on that. He catches balls most of the time and runs backwards. I don't know what the hell got into him yesterday. There was a couple times, but a lot of times he does that. He has no touchdowns. None. Okay. He has the personal foul where he catches the ball, which was fantastic. Great job, Deontay. And he goes and gets in the defender's face and starts flexing his muscles. You can't do that. Okay. Then there was the onside blunder at the end of the game. Who touches the ball before it goes 10 yards? That ball could have rolled around at 9 yards and they wouldn't have been able to do nothing. You're over there sliding into it. It's bouncing around. Mike, this is an $18 million season. Is this season 18? Is that $18 million earned to you? Maybe fill me in on where all the great things happen, but I'm having a hard time finding them. Please tell me where the $18 million.
I would address a couple things here.
Yeah, please.
Hines Ward held out. TJ Watt held out.
That was not good for them. All right, guys.
And hey, so did Deontay. Hey, I'm all for it.
If it wasn't all this stuff, Mike, I wouldn't have the beef with him.
He did it. Well done, Deontay. I stand in solidarity.
Again, if it wasn't all this stuff piled together, I wouldn't have the beef. It's everything that really.
Hold on. That football camp. Fuck them kids. Not really. No, that was some bullshit right there. I just wanted to work and fuck them kids.
You paid the money because his name was on the T-shirt. That's why you wanted your kid to be there.
Yeah. So dick move there. I have no problem with the holding out. If you say you're going to be at a camp, be at a camp. My man caught 10 catches on 10 balls. He caught catches this game. I'm focusing on this game.
Okay, please continue.
I know. According to the analytics, though, his drops are down, but I don't see it.
What game are they watching?
Like drops are like hits in hockey.
Yeah.
The home team. The home team always has more hits than the away team. It's like it's random and capricious.
Yeah.
On hits and drops. The running backwards. I know at least one time when he ran backwards, it actually worked out. He gained more yards.
That one play I do.
Well, that one time.
It happened one time. So many times you can remember it.
It's like the Penguins power play. We're going to pass around, not shoot, and then we'll score in a fluky way. And hey, it worked one time out of 10. It's going to work every time, boys. Okay. And the onside kick,
dude, you never played football in your life?
Like you count 10 yards. You know where 10 yards. You should know where it had to go. It was not going to hit that 10-yard line because, like, you saw how many Panthers were there up by the ball. Yeah. It wasn't even close to 10 yards. Thank God George Pickens was there.
Yes. Big George, baby.
Big George. But no, like, I don't want to shit on Deontay because I feel you too on some of that stuff he did, but he came up clutch. He had some key third down catches. He caught everything that was thrown to him today. You got to give credit where credit's due.
I could just hear him in Mitch's ear all week long.
I'm just saying. Throw me the ball. Well, who else is he going to throw to?
George Pickens, the freak.
Pickens. That's it.
I would throw the ball downfield to Pickens all day, get interference called 50% of the time, and have him catch it the other 50%.
Well, Mitch knew, like, hey, man, if I throw one pick, Mason's there. Mason split time, and Mitch is like, I'm not getting pulled again. I'm going to play smart football, and he did. And
I agree. Yeah.
He played. Yeah, but Deontay, like if he could do this game in, game out, oh my god, dude, you would be in that conversation of like one of the top 5 receivers in the league.
Could we agree on that? If he did this weekend,
he's so inconsistent.
He would be an $18 million a year receiver if he was able to play that game, take a few dumb things out, and play that game. That's the receiver that we thought that we were getting. Correct?
Yeah, that's who I thought. Like, oh my god, he's just going to get better and better and better.
Yeah,
and it just
you're right. The consistency's terrible.
But I think he's one of those players. You see it all the time throughout the league. Those players that frustrate you because they won't change the one thing. And his is always going to be running backwards.
And and the thing is, it's to benefit them. They'll be so much greater, Mike, if they would just change that thing.
See, a lot of times, like, it's like just like a mental block. They know they got to stop doing it, but they've done it for so long.
Yeah.
Like, you teaching an old dog new tricks. That saying, I think that's what it is. You've been doing it for so long, you can't stop.
Mike, you know what? That is very true. I'm going to give Mike, I give the receivers a C. I give them a C on the day for a few reasons. For a little bit of Deontay, but they get up a little bit because of Deontay. Because of the nice catch by Pickens, but not throwing not getting enough catches. I'm giving the receivers a C. It wasn't a great day. Again, the quarterback only threw for 179 yards.
Uh-huh.
So the receivers, I think, get a solid C, no higher, no lower. It was a fair game for the receivers.
I'm going a different grade here. I'm gonna go with a B.
Okay.
Um, I'm looking at it now, man. Deontay, 10 catches on 10 targets. Jalen had 1 target and a catch. Sims, 2 targets and a catch. Gentry, 1 and 1. Gunner, 1 and 1. Boykin, 1 and 1. George, 2 catches on 5 targets, and he gets the contested ball. So
Yeah.
I thought they played well. Everyone caught the passes they should have caught.
Right.
Um, would you have liked, a touchdown out of there? Yeah, but hey, we had 3 rushing touchdowns, so I'm not going to be mad about that. You could argue maybe Yaks, but a little maybe route running better here and there. But overall, I give them a B. I give them a B because this week was not about the passing game; it was all about running.
All right.
And
I
they did what they
agree.
had to do. They converted key third downs. Man, Deontay was there for those key clutch third downs. So
I'm just so there. I mean, Deontay really. Let's move on. We're going to
let's
hop
move on.
over to defense, Mike. Defense. We got to go through this quick because we still have picks to go
Oh my
through.
God, we got so much to go through.
We do.
Holy
We have so
shit!
much. This show could literally we could do this for 4 hours. Okay, so here's the thing, Mike. We're going to jump over to the defense, the defensive line. The defensive line. I thought they played well in a game that they were supposed to play well. I thought that they held the running attack very well, and they did. Go back and look at the numbers. Hubbard 4 carries for
Uh-huh.
10 yards, which that shows you they really didn't put the attempt in 4 carries.
Yeah,
And then Foreman had 10 for 9. He ran for 10 times.
yeah.
9 yards, so less than a yard to carry. So yes, our defense did something. Again, let's see how this defense buckles down against the run against
Oh yeah.
Baltimore in 2 weeks. That's the true litmus
Oh
test.
yeah.
So, Mike, I feel that it was a good game by the defensive line. They did what they were supposed to. They they didn't blow it. Of course, since Carolina didn't put them in a chance to blow it. But one thing that I would like to see a little bit more, just a little bit more pressure on the quarterback from
Yep.
the defensive line.
Yeah.
That's an area that we have to get better. We have to get better because here's the thing: you need to also help those DBs out. You complain,
Mhm.
I complain. The DBs get burned all the
Yeah.
time. There's receivers running around like crazy. That tells me that the line is not getting enough pressure on these quarterbacks. That is one thing that they do need to improve. I give this defensive line a B plus, Mike. I give them a B plus.
Yep.
The only area that, like I said, I think they need improvement. They have to get to the quarterback a little bit more.
Me too. That's exactly what I was gonna say. For the most part, B plus. They dominated the run game to where they didn't even want to think about running. Um, this has to be the best game I've seen Cam Hayward play in years.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah, that's right.
he actually beats people 1-on-1 blocks
It was
where normally he's
impressive.
getting in the past couple
I
seasons
love
he's
this
getting
NFC
blocked.
South.
Yeah,
Come on.
he's loving it. I think people are gonna blow his performance way out of whack just because he had that sack and a half. But
Yeah,
like you
he
said,
is a half sack.
yeah, half sack. He can half sack it. But anyway, I was very impressed with the D line today. Or last night, yesterday, whatever.
Yeah.
I was very, very impressed. They played
Again,
very well.
we're gonna
Just
get a
more,
feel.
little more pressure on the quarterback.
It was a good game. Good game by the defensive line.
Yep.
Again, let's look in 2 weeks when we play
Yeah.
Baltimore. That's going to give us a real feel.
Uh-huh.
Like linebackers, no Miles Jack, but you did have extra Spillane. I tell you what, when Spillane, and then like we've said in the past, there's only about 2 teams that he's really good against, and then everybody else he's average. You know
Yeah.
what? He came out yesterday. He was all over the place. He filled in really well, I thought, for Jack. And again, you got to consider the competition. You got to
Yeah.
consider that it was the Panthers and that. But you know what? Overall, I thought the linebackers played good enough. Watt got a sack. Highsmith got a sack. You didn't
Mhm.
hear Bush's name, which is a good thing because that's usually a bad thing when you hear Bush's name.
Yeah.
And
Like he quietly had a 4 tackle game. He had some nice
yeah,
tackles.
and Spillane. So you know what? I give this linebacking core a B. There's really nowhere to knock them, but it wasn't the best of performance ever.
Mm,
I feel a B is safe for our linebackers yesterday.
I think a C plus. They
In
were
a
just
game where again there was only how many yards rushing? 20 yards,
yeah.
so they
Oh
did
yeah, they'd
something.
have to do. I thought Watt and Highsmith could have done more for pressure wise. Like
Absolutely.
like until Watt got a sack, I didn't. I was like, oh, he is playing because I just didn't notice him, and I don't want to see like I'm trashing on the guy. It's like I literally did not notice he was out there until we had
Yeah.
that sack. So it's like They needed more pressure. I'm trying to think like passes like in the middle of the field where linebackers were got beat. Nothing like egregious is coming to mind in the passing
Yeah.
game against the. There were a couple maybe like they didn't get deep enough in the zone coverage, so that's why I'm giving a C plus. But nothing like stood out egregious. Like Devin Bush was not getting plowed over in the holes in the run game. So you know,
Let me jump forward. We're going to talk about the corners in a second. I'm just going to jump to safeties because it's going to be a little bit quicker. I think the safeties played well as always. I think Terrell Edmonds come up, made good plays when he was supposed
oh
to.
god,
I
yes.
thought Minka was all over the place. I have
Oh man,
nothing bad to say about this crew of
you can't
safeties,
you can't say a bad thing about those two.
but they're
They played
brothers in the
amazing.
backfield. The corners are the
Oh,
guys that we need. We need help. We need help bad. We need the number one guy. We need Joey Porter Jr. We need a guy who's going to be the number one corner on this team. Like we have none. We have about five number fives on this team. No number ones. They're all number fours, fives, sixes, eights, whatever. These guys are not good, Mike. Against a team like Carolina, these receivers are running all over the place. Like I said, there was many times I see three wide receivers that could have been hit at any given point, just running crazy back there. The
mhm.
cornerback position needs to improve big time.
They do need to improve. I don't know.
I mean, we almost gave up 250 yards
Yeah.
to this bad team, you
Oh
know?
yeah. I like God, man. That coverage when James Pierre just got
Yeah.
lost, let the man run right by him. Luckily, because he noticed it and come flying in over top.
Love the
Um,
Kazee.
so yeah, James Pierre, when he's good, he's good, but when he's bad, he is terrible. Thought Sutton played well. He got hit with a ticky tacky pass interference. Yeah, I give him a C minus. The cornerbacks, they were not impressive at all.
I
Like
give I'll go.
I had just they were just eh.
Corners, I give a D, Mike. I give a solid D. I don't want to go any higher than that. I thought their performance has been putrid. I was hoping to see a little bit better performance playing against a team like
Yeah,
Carolina. Unfortunately, we didn't. I'm going to hope again to see it
yeah.
against Las Vegas, but that is going to be. We have 3 weeks to look. We've been
Mhm.
through 15 total weeks altogether, and we've got an idea. So that another idea what we might want to tackle in the draft. Mike, the special teams I thought was good. There was no muff punts. There was no missed field goals. There was no blocking issues.
But
However,
however,
the last play of the game, basically, I don't know, it was the
well, we got
last
the
or the
last play of the game, and then we got the other one.
what was the other one? I'm sorry.
Um, my man Marcus Allen.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Let
This
me get to
season,
him.
just what the hell's
Oh,
going on with him?
let me throw up for a second. Now, Marcus Allen, yes, I had him separate for some reason. Let me just talk about special teams for one moment. The the muff at the end of the game, at the on the onside
Yeah,
kick was bad. That's
that
bad.
was bad.
Okay, so yes, let's bleed over into Marcus Allen. Mike, I thought this was gonna be what we are gonna talk about all game. Listen, bro, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about
Right?
Deontay should have known better not to touch the ball
Yeah.
on an onside. You listen. Here's okay. Anybody that just didn't see the game, or anybody just wants to hear it again. Here's what happened. We held Carolina. It was 4th and 27. You don't get
Fourth
all
and 27.
you don't get a better situation than that on
No,
defense.
no.
4th and 27. They were going to punt. There was that little bit of time in between plays. The two teams were over on their sidelines, both in their huddle. And Marcus Allen decides to leave his huddle, travel across the field, go into Carolina's huddle, and get in a dude's face, which obviously is going to get you a
Yeah.
penalty. Obviously, it got him a first down. Obviously, it could have only winning by 8 points could have been the difference maker in a game like this. Mike, I'm seeing people go on and on about on social media about getting rid of this guy. He should be gone today. I don't think he should be gone today,
No.
but what a stupid thing to do.
Very, very stupid. And like I read an article there. They're like talking about that and how stupid it was. And like, yeah, I expect Coach Tallman to address this and like don't do this again, but with a lot more colorful language.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing about Tomlin. He handles stuff behind closed doors. He doesn't say a whole lot in the media. So it won't surprise me if
Some
Marcus
of these
Allen is
guys,
not
I'm not.
back. Is I don't think he's going to be back next year. I don't think he's going to cut him this year,
Yeah,
right in
no,
the
he'll
middle of
let
the
it
season.
play
No.
out and just not going
Just
to
let it
sign him
play
back.
out. And if attitude doesn't change, you're gone.
Let me tell you this. I don't think that
I don't
Mike
think I've ever
Tomlin.
seen anything like that before. By the way,
No, no, no. That was the theme of this weekend for football.
just in every sport. Look what the fuck happened.
Yeah. So Mike Tomlin coaching would be overall, the play of the team. Mike, this was the only reason I gave it a little bit of a down score because I thought the game went well.
Uh-huh.
Again, we got to consider this is a bad team, and I've said that many times. But the discipline, the things that need to be handled behind closed doors, and again, I'm not taking a shot at Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
I am now allowing him to do his job. Rightfully so. Let's see how he handles Marcus Allen. Let's see how he handles
Mhm.
Deontay. Let's see how we move forward. I'm not going
Yeah.
to put this on him, but these guys have a discipline issue. There's a few of them in the locker room. And again, you're trying to put a team together that's competitive and moves
Yeah.
forward. You got to keep that in consideration. Let's see how Tomlin handles this moving forward.
Yeah. I give the coaching overall, yeah, I think it was an A. They came with a game plan, and every coach stuck with that game plan.
Like I said, I was down a little bit because of the discipline issues, but again, that's more on how he handles it for moving forward.
Yeah.
Right off the top, I thought they coached a pretty decent game. I'm going to throw a B minus C plus in there. Mike, we have to get the picks. We
Yes, let's
cannot
get the
take
picks. Jesus
any
Christ.
longer. We just can't. Mike, as you see, I brought my stack of cheese. I thought for sure today that we were going to be throwing cheese at Mike's head. This is what I had planned. This is what I waited all week for. I brought my cheese. I couldn't be any more prepared for this. So here, everybody, is what happened. As you recall, last week, Mike has been on a little bit of a losing streak on his picks, which, hey, it happens.
Oh,
So he takes on the dummy. It was the battle of the dummies last week. Mike versus the dummy, and he makes his predictions. And the dummy makes his predictions. And there was 3 games that decided who wins this week's picks.
mhm.
Mike, I'm going to just get things rolling, and we'll get to you guys as we go. Okay?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
First game of the week. Second game of the weekend. The one last Thursday. We're not counting Saturday's games. Colts and Vikings. Mike. 39-36 overtime. It was the
Oh, it's
largest comeback in the history,
the best.
not
Best.
the history of the game. Mike,
The
they were down 33-0 at halftime.
33-0.
33-0. This Minnesota team that everybody's saying, oh, they're getting better. They should be in the playoffs. They should be making a run for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They're down 33-0 to the hapless Colts. I'm done with this team. They're done, sold. No, wait. They come back. Mike, this team comes back against Matt Ryan, who has the largest
Twice.
Super Bowl come from behind loss. So he has the largest in
Overrated.
history in the NFL and the largest in the
Overrated.
Super Bowl. Unbelievable. Matt Ryan, he is going down.
Overrated.
Oh, he's not. Yeah, big time.
He's so overrated.
So,
So overrated.
but the funny thing about this game, Mike, if they wouldn't have fired Frank Reich a month earlier, I think it would have been even more significant because here you have the guy that came back to win until this game broke the record, the largest comeback in history, the game in the early 90s between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Oilers. So what a lot of crazy weird connections with this game. Mike, ultimately, you and Dummy both won this one 39-36 in overtime.
I want to say this is the game where people are saying the NFL is rigged. This game proves it.
All right.
Bullshit.
You make
one
your
bad
own
team
judgment,
show.
people. Mike, the next game was a very not good Ravens
Oh
team.
God, no.
And if you're just relying on your one quarterback to be the be all end all, the make all, the Super Bowl, the MVP, you are in big trouble, Baltimore. You're in big trouble. The Cleveland Clowns, they beat you 13-3. This is a game that I thought the Ravens needed to win. And they did, Mike. They lost to the Browns 13-3. The final game on Saturday night was from Buffalo. The snow, the snow. Like I said, right off the top, it was these amazing, just different kind of games. The Snow Bowl up in Buffalo, Mike. It was snowballs flying everywhere. They were hitting.
I love it.
They were hitting their own fans in the back of the head. They were hitting camera people. They were hitting. And first it was fun because Buffalo scored and all the snowballs came, and it was like okay. But then it just continued as the plays went on. Snowballs kept hitting Dolphin. You can't do that. It hits you in the face and a big play. So finally, after like a quarter, the league steps in, which they should have done a lot sooner, in my opinion. To protect their players and said, you know what? If you keep doing it, we're going to keep penalizing your team. If I was a Dolphins fan, I would have kept chucking snowballs out on that field. But I don't know how many Miami Dolphins fans were sitting up there in that weather. Mike, this game also being a really great one, 32-29. Final score in that. Buffalo Bills enter the playoffs with that.
Josh Allen, when he jumped over at that ball in hand, I'm like, what are you doing? My man is nuts. Love it.
Next game, Mike, Eagles at Bears. No, I don't know if Claypool played or not, but he had no catches. I do know that he was not in the he was not in the catch column. So whatever you want
No.
to do with that, I don't know. Mike, you and Dummy both picked the Eagles in this matchup, and
Yes.
they did win 25-20 in a
Yeah.
game that was probably a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah, it should have been. Yeah, but Justin Fields, man, this kid is showing why a lot of people thought he might be the best quarterback coming out of that draft.
Yeah.
He had that long touchdown run where he just shook defenders off of him. If Get him some weapons around him, get him an offensive line, and let this kid thrive.
He's big time, no two ways about that. Mike, the game that I thought would have been an interesting one to watch would be the Lions and Jets, two teams that are right around the same level, I feel.
Yeah.
Player-wise, team-wise. You and Dummy both took the Lions in that game, which was a good pick because the Lions did come out on top 20-17.
Yeah. I heard Zach Wilson was going to probably play, and my man just don't have it.
What's up with him? Yeah.
He just throwing picks, man. Didn't he throw like the game clinching interception, I think, at the end?
Jeez. Everyone had so high hopes for him, you know?
He's just ready to go cougar hunting.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially his mom's friend or whatever the hell was going on. The next game, of course, we spoke about the Steelers 24-16. Mike, you gave that one up. You did choose the Panthers. I don't know.
I choose Panthers.
Your pattern is odd, but I do recognize that you do take the teams against the Steelers. But again, that's a story for a whole other day. Mike, the Steelers did win that one.
I go with thinking we're going to lose every single game we play.
16.
I am a nerd. Yeah.
And you fell behind in this game, so that was 0-1. Again, keep in mind there was 3 games that were of significance to this. Mike, the next game, I'm sorry, was the Chiefs at the Texans. 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, this Houston Texans team. Now they didn't win, but last week they gave the Dallas Cowboys a run for their money.
Yes.
This week they give the Kansas City Chiefs a run for their money, and they take it to overtime. In Kansas City, they win 30-24.
Yes.
Mike, what was that?
Like without a boneheaded play from who's the Texans quarterback, Mills, like Kansas City could have lost.
Yeah.
They should have lost.
Unbelievable.
They should have lost, but when you're good, the luck is in your favor. When you're bad, luck is not in your favor. And that's what you saw. You saw a really good team and a really bad team. And in the end, it was all based on luck. And when you're having a bad year, man, it just keeps going.
Showdown in the NFC South, Mike. If anybody cares, the Falcons went to New Orleans to play a football game yesterday. In the Saints, they beat the Falcons 21-18.
The tree falls in the woods and no one's around. Does it make a sound?
That's right.
Like, who cares at this point with those teams?
They were a tree in the woods. All right, next one, Mike, is another. I love it. The Cowboys, after the close game against the Texans last week, they played the hapless Jaguars again. The AFC South, here they come. The Jaguars come. They beat Dallas 40-34 in overtime.
Pick 6 to seal the game.
Unbelievable.
Oh, wild game. Who would have thought? I thought their Cowboys defense would have been too much for this Jacksonville team, but Trevor Lawrence, man, 27 42, 318, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. You can't beat that.
Says that guy's a beast.
And you got a pretty good running back in NTN back there who they picked up last year in the draft as well. So they're building a nice little squad down there.
They really are. I like Jacksonville. I like where they're heading. Mike, I'm going to jump over these next 2 games. We'll get back to them in a moment.
Yes.
The next one I want to talk about briefly is the Titans at the Chargers. You and the Dummy both picked the Chargers in this game, rightfully so. The Chargers come out on top in Los Angeles, 17-14. Mike, the Bengals at the Buccaneers. I thought that the Buccaneers were going to win. They were up early. It was like 10-0, then 17-3. I thought the Buccaneers, Tom Brady's finally going to beat somebody from the NFC North. He did not. The Bengals overpowered him. You and Dummy both picked the Bengals in this game, and the Bengals did win 34-23.
Bengals are getting hot, man. Watch out for the Bengals.
What they did last year. Watch out for these guys.
Is too, man. It's freaky.
Sunday night game last night. It wasn't really any significance to us or myself, so I had it on. I was doing a few other things for the show, back and forth. The Giants win this one, Mike, 20-12. You both went Commanders in this one. You can't bet against Tyler Heineke.
Apparently you can.
Apparently you can.
There are a lot. Oh, go ahead.
The Giants win this one 20-12.
There are a couple key things in that game. God, man, the Washington's receiver in the end zone being bear hugged and
Yeah.
tackled by the defensive back, and then I think on one of the last plays of the game, their wide receiver, he looks over to the official and does the hand thing. Am I good? Guy's like, good, but hey, guess what? You lined up in an illegal formation.
Yeah.
The ref's only going to tell you if you're lined up on
you're on
sides or not. They're
sides.
not going to tell you if you're on the line of scrimmage. That's on
Yeah,
you.
he's not
to
going to
know.
play the game for you, dude.
That's on you to know. He just wants to, hey, yeah, are you on the over the line? That's really what it is. Like, hey, more or less a backup. I've never seen a ref tell a guy to move forward.
One last game, Mike. Tonight in this wacky Week 15 of the NFL football season, the Rams travel to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. Mike, both you guys took the Packers. Any regrets? Anything like that? You still confident with tonight's pick?
I'm still confident with tonight's pick.
So you guys both got the Packers Monday Night Football. Don't forget to check that out, guys. We have two games of importance that we've yet to talk about.
Yes.
The Cardinals and the Broncos. Dummy took the Cardinals. Mike took the Broncos.
This was before I knew
Russell Wilson was out.
Yeah,
was out.
The battle of the backup quarterbacks.
Battle of the backup quarterbacks. I wasn't sure who was going to win. I seen at one point the Cardinals were up. I thought, okay, let's just follow this, see how it plays out. But the Broncos win, Mike. That ties you up. So the loss in the Steeler prediction and the win in the Broncos prediction. This Broncos team that you love so much has bailed you out.
I just love them so much because I get to say Broncos Nation, let's ride.
Now this one, Mike, this is what I've been waiting for.
This is what got me over the hump,
Mike,
baby.
This is what won you the crown. Mike, everybody did win the crown. Yes, we wanted to wait till the end to tell you he is. Again, I don't have any reason to throw my cheese. I brought plenty of cheese with me, but no reason to throw it. Mike, I'm going to hold it above your head. Yeah, look, I'm handing it.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Well, you know what you're doing.
It works on TV. I just don't get it. Why can't you grab this? Okay. Anyway, but Mike, so this game was one of my unbelievable because we hate the Patriots so much was one reason, but for how it played out, Mike, was amazing, was crazy, was stupid, was everything. Mike, Patriots in Las Vegas playing the Raiders. 24-24, time's running out. It's going to overtime. Mac Jones snaps the ball. What was it? He passed the ball.
Passing.
The guy runs. He gets a nice gain. He's chucking up the right sideline. Then he stops and he throws it to another guy that was behind him. Okay, that's not a bad play. Okay. Well, if you have a play, take it. You know what I mean? Maybe he thought that he had something that wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, this was going to overtime in like 0 seconds as soon as this play gets whistled dead.
Yeah.
So the second guy, the guy that I thought was maybe going to make an amazing play and win the game, turns around and he
chucks it 60 yards back to his quarterback.
And it was the quarterback, no less. It was no man of skill or speed. He takes the ball and he throws it across his body, across the field. It might have been 300 fucking yards away from the play. He tosses up in the air, and this dude for the Raiders catches the ball, turns upfield, runs to the end zone. Yeah.
He destroys Mac Jones.
This is the best thing ever. He destroys Mac Jones, and then he trucks it 30 yards, whatever it was, for a touchdown, wins the game on that play. You know what, Mike? You made a good point earlier about these dumb plays, and they just don't happen in New England. It's funny.
They finally do.
It's funny now that Brady's gone. These dumb plays are happening.
Yes.
Maybe Belichick isn't that genius.
No, he was not that good, and he was average in Cleveland, average for the Jets, average until he got Brady.
Yeah.
See, it's funny what happens when you have one of the greatest players of all time, or the greatest quarterback of all time on your team.
Absolutely.
What happens?
Yeah.
But hey,
so here this was the game that Mike he needed this game.
I needed this.
It was going overtime.
Perfect.
I said, this is amazing. This even going to overtime for this game that you needed. And I thought this is going to be great to talk about, exciting. And this happens, Mike. You did after a long drought. Mike is the pick king. Everybody, Mike, pick king. Yes. There you go.
Big sexy Mike, back on top where he belongs.
Back and on top whenever he tomorrow he'll be presented with this, and it will be in his cubicle tomorrow when you see him. Amazing stuff. Congratulations, my brother. You did a great job. You beat a dummy, and we couldn't be more proud.
Thank you. I'm like the Steelers
Yeah.
beating the Carolina
Yeah, this is
Panthers.
the equivalent of the Steelers beating
A
the
win's a win,
Panthers.
god damn it.
Mike, we have one more thing to do on this show. You know what it is. It's how well do you know your enemies? And this weekend, it sure is an enemy. It was a AFC rival of the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the
Mhm.
70s and pretty much up to date. I mean, if you look at a few of the games, some
Yeah.
crazy things have happened. The hated Raiders. So today's trivia, Mike, is going to be about the hated Raiders. And we're going to see how Mike can do. He did very well against Carolina. You know, Carolina's trivia last week. There was a little bit of speculation and questioning, maybe some conspiracies there at the end. But you know what? This is Christmas. Mike won. Crazy games. Let's just do this. All right,
Let's just do this.
Mike. This is the trivia question of the day. This is a
All right.
Raiders trivia question,
Okay.
and I even have a surprise for you. But go ahead. All right, let me go. Let me go.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Here we go. Which Raiders wide receiver wearing number 25 was the most valuable player of the 1977 Super Bowl? Which Raiders wide receiver wearing number 25 was the most valuable player of the 1977 Super Bowl? And what I'm going to do, I think that I'm going to sing you a Christmas song while we wait for you to
Oh
think.
God.
Well, the weather outside is frightening. My memories so
There we go. I'll
delightful.
just mute you.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it snow. Let it snow. Where the hose? Where the hose? Where the hose?
Where the hose at? Where the hose at?
All right, put down your pencils, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Mike, the trivia question of the day. Which Raiders wide receiver wearing number 25 was the most valuable player of the 1977 Super Bowl? The answer, of course, is
Biletnikoff?
Fred Biletnikoff, and that's your final answer.
Yeah, he's the only one I can think of.
All right, let's go ahead and log you in here. We'll lock you in place. All right, there we go. Mike, one more time. Which Raiders wide receiver wearing number 25 was the most valuable player in the 1977 Super Bowl? Mike says Fred Biletnikoff, and that is correct. That is correct, Mike. This is your week. I don't know what to say. I'm feeling good about it. I think that you're feeling good about it. The Steelers are still not knocked out of the playoffs. We have Christmas. It just doesn't end. Hey, Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
Real quick before I do that, the Packers released Sammy Watkins.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like 8 hours before the game. Release one of your wide receivers. Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he's played this year. You know, he's not the Sammy Watkins of old, but I find that funny. I was just checking Twitter and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, so dumyinzers.com. Head on over there. We have links to YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Facebook, Twitter, Insta, email address, all there at dumyinzers.com.
Check it out, everybody. Check it out. www.2dumyinzers.com. Also, we are live all through the week, Monday through Friday, every week from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. On video, and then we take that show and we upload it. We upload it to the to Spotify. So 8 o'clock every day of the same day, you could then listen to the show in podcast form over on Spotify. Mike, do you have anything before we take off, man?
Great show, great weekend in sports.
Yes, we couldn't agree more. Hey, you know what, Mike? I don't know what I'm going to do with all this cheese, so I guess I'll start eating that as we speak. And
oh God, I can't watch that. I can't.
And then everybody, you have a great day. We appreciate you as always. For Mike Ryan, the Two Dumb Yinzers, we'll see you tomorrow.